Well, hello and a very warm welcome to Business Today Television. I am Chetan Bhatani. Maruti Suzuki has come out with a set of numbers, and I am joined by Rahul Bharti, Senior Executive Officer at Maruti Suzuki. Thank you so much for joining us, Rahul Chan. First question, of course, margins under pressure this quarter is one of the biggest highlight that we saw in the number. Despite beating profit estimates, EBITDA dropped 11% and margins fell by about 227 basis points. What were the key cost pressures that you saw, and how do you plan to reverse that?
Right. First, let me share with you since we have SMG as a subsidiary, so we don't look at EBITDA margins, we look at EBIT margins.
Hmm.
And while all affected margins at EBITDA would have been different, but EBIT to net sales fell down by 40 basis points sequentially from quarter four to quarter one.
Right. And revenue grew by 8%, but profit rose only 2%. So, what's your outlook on cost optimization, especially in the context of rising commodity cost, forex pressure, and of course, the recent announced investments in the Kharkhoda plant?
Right. So, margins are a consequence of many factors put together. Commodity prices, forex, and operating leverage because of volumes.
Hmm.
Now, volumes are slightly, it's a sluggish market, but we are looking somewhat positive towards the festive season in Q2 and Q3. And we have two more powerful SUV launches. So, depending upon the volumes, the operating leverage will also change. There are some kind of indications that steel industry wants to increase prices, taking advantage of the safeguard duty. That we are trying to explain and negotiate that it's not appropriate. And utilization should improve for the new Kharkhoda plant. So to that extent, there will be the depreciation impact of about 30 basis points that happened in Q1 should go away. But all put together, it still continues in the uncertain zone, and it's really difficult to predict how things will pan out, particularly in this uncertain macroeconomic environment.
Sir, are we seeing that steel prices are of course not coming down and it's all-time high for a very long period. Many companies, including you, have undertaken price hikes. Are we seeing another possibility of a price hike in times to come?
So far, we are not seeing any kind of movement either towards discount or price increase. So far, it is we want to continue on a sustainable path.
Right. Sir, you're of course the hero of the numbers is of course the exports numbers, sir. Domestic sales were down 4.5% while exports surged 37%. How do you read this contrast in demand, and do you see this domestic pressure or slowdown persisting in the market for the time being?
Uh, See, this phenomena we had prepared for well. So exports with a very healthy growth of 37.4%, with the rest of industry actually declining their exports by 2%. This robust growth in export helped us cushion the domestic fall, and we would like to keep increasing our exports steadily as we go forward. And the EV launch will also help us. In Q1, our exports market share reached up 47% plus, and we want to take it up higher in the months and years to come.
Right, right. So you mentioned about two new products as well. I'd like to ask you, sir. There has been a lot of buzz in the market about the two new mid-size SUVs that are going to come. Can you please elaborate on that plan, and what is the update on the Grand Vitara EV, sir?
So you're right. We have two strong SUV launches in this financial year. One of them is an EV, the eVitara, and the other also we will launch in due course, and that should increase our volumes and our SUV share. And we are looking forward to both of these SUV launches.
Right. So that if I could discuss with you a little detail on the sluggish demand in entry level cars, where you are actually the leader and you have been a leader for decades now. Where do we see, sir, Maruti Suzuki pivoting? Because clearly, we are not seeing any growth for a very long time for Maruti in the entry level cars and of course sedans also. Are there any plans where you want to probably work it out in a way that we could reduce the demand, reduce the production of entry level cars, or focus that line of machinery, or some technical terms, towards EVs and SUVs?
So, the phenomenon that we are seeing, you're right, is a structural, continuous degrowth in small cars. I'll give you some numbers. In financial year 17-18, the total car market annual sales size in India was 32.6 lakhs.
Hmm.
Out of 32.6 lakhs, 28 lakhs were cars below 10 lakh rupees.
Oh.
Now, these cars below 10 lakh rupees have dipped sharply to in 7 years to financial year 24-25 to about 23 lakhs. So 19% fall in 7 years, which should have been a healthy growth.
Hmm.
Just for contrast, cars above 10 lakh rupees were at 4.6 lakh annual sales in 17-18.
Hmm.
They have grown more than 5 times to 20.6 lakhs.
Hmm.
So while that should have been the kind of growth, small cars are not growing. So if cars below 10 lakh rupees are not growing, there is a serious concern that two-wheeler owners who bought their two-wheelers, let's say 10 years ago, they are not being able to upgrade to a car. So the great Indian dream of owning a car for a large section of people is still getting retarded. It's getting pushed back.
Hmm.
So this is a concern that it's structural and something needs to be done about it.
Understood, sir. Fair enough. Very good numbers you've given, sir. But however, I'd like to take you back towards the Grand Vitara EV and the chips issue that you are facing, of course, with the rare earth magnet problem. Where are we at that situation now, sir?
So fortunately, our efforts in pursuing alternate solutions are going well, and as of now, it's still in WIP, but we don't see any impact as of now. If and when we see any impact of rare earth, we'll obviously come back and share with you. But so far, so good.
And any revised production, any revised plan for eVitara, sir? The launch, or probably any date that we could have it in our minds?
We have to keep in mind that eVitara is a global production. India is a global hub for eVitara production, which will service about 100 countries of the world from India, from Gujarat. So, all these launches for each country will happen within this financial year. They'll start soon, and we have to cover all these markets, including Europe, including Japan, and of course, India.
Understood. And last question, sir. What is the current status of the Kharkhoda plant, greenfield plant? And if I could ask you on the capex for plan for FY26, and what all are you focusing on? Could you give us probably a understanding if we're focusing more on EVs, exports, or capacity expansion, which you have already announced?
Sure. So we could commission our Kharkhoda plant in the last quarter of previous financial year, before March 25, and we've been conducting trials, etc. This is the first line of capacity 250,000. I should also tell you that the second plant is already under construction. So that should also come on stream in some time. And of course, in this quarter, Q1, there was an element of underutilization, which should go away in the next few quarters as volumes ramp up.
And also, sir, India UK FTA has been signed, and of course, with great duty structure for the automobile sector. What kind of impact are you foreseeing? Any good news on that front?
So I have to really compliment the government of India and the Ministry of Commerce under the leadership of Mr. Piyush Goyal, a very well crafted and a very well negotiated agreement which helps multiple sectors in India and particularly takes care of the auto sector and both in terms of imports and exports. I think it should help India big time. And now I think the other FTAs are under negotiation. We are keenly watching those
And
FTAs.
what's about your exports to UK and EU? Will it get impacted?
So there is a duty reduction in the schedule for EVs, but it starts from the sixth year onwards.
Okay.
And our exports of EVs will start this year onwards. So directionally, it is positive, but specifically what happens after 6 years, we don't know. But directionally, it's helpful because duties on Indian exports of EVs will come down from 10% to 0%.
And the last question, of course, with the United States announcing a 25% tariff on Indian goods and of course a plus additional penalty, how are you impacted with this? Do you have American market access, and how do you see as an auto major, sir?
As far as cars, passenger vehicles are concerned, India neither exports nor imports from the US in any meaningful volume. So directly, there is no implication, but we understand that auto components have exports and many other sectors are affected. So there may be some macroeconomic implications, which is slightly premature to guess. But we have strong confidence in the resilience of the Indian economy.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Rahul Sir, for speaking to us at Business Today. Well, that was Rahul Bharti, the Senior Executive Officer at Maruti Suzuki, speaking to us on the quarterly earnings, giving us a deep dive insight on how the exports are really making a strong push case for the company. And of course, within two new SUVs being lined up, what's really in the store for consumers. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.